2015 was an interesting and exciting year for us here in the jungles of Nicaragua with the Mosquito Indian people. And already in 2016, God is opening many doors and new places for us to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
We want to welcome you to take a glimpse of our journey this past year. We would like to introduce you to our ministry partners, Marcos and Karen, a native mosquito family that God has saved and chosen to help us minister His word to the mosquito people. On my parents' last trip to the U.S., some of our dear brothers and sisters committed to sponsoring Marcos and Karen's family. This has freed them up from some of the stress of everyday living, making it possible to invest more time in ministry. We have been blessed with the addition of Katrina Nunez and Camille Wallace serving in our ministry this past year. We've also been blessed with the addition of 12-year-old Deadling to our family. We are a team chosen by God and joined together in love to serve and spread the gospel to the mosquito people. We want to thank everyone who has partnered with us, encouraging us and supporting us with prayer and finances, because without people like you, it would be impossible to do what we do. For the ones of you who have blessed us with your presence in Kring Kring, we give a special thanks. Your presence has been an encouragement to us and also a representation of many who support us back in the U.S. In the past year, we have seen God's protection and healing poured out on us, as many have chosen not to receive the gospel and have become instruments of Satan to try and destroy the work that God has begun among the mosquito people. We trust and believe that God will continue to protect and lead us, and many more will be reached with the good news of salvation. Many of you know and have heard of the medical we have been doing out of our home, helping with medicine for common sicknesses, suturing cuts, and setting broken bones. In the past year, the Nicaraguan government has provided a licensed nurse to help in this area, working out of a small government clinic building. The medicine the government provided was minimal, and with your help, we have been able to supply what was lacking. We have also been working on the construction of a new clinic building to provide better medical care for Kring Kring and the surrounding villages. As the construction nears completion, we hope to hire a Christian nurse to serve in this new clinic building in the coming year. With the only access to our village being by the river, transportation has been a challenge, but God has provided greatly in this area. Some donated for a jet ski, helpful as an ambulance for transporting the sick and dying to the closest hospital. The jet ski has also been very useful as a ministry vehicle, cutting the trip to Waspam from 12 hours to an hour and a half. It has served to help expand our ministry to other villages, making a 2 or 3 hour trek through the mud only a few minute ride. God has also provided a 90-horse Honda motor to put on the back of a carved out log, which is very helpful in cargo trips or group trips to other villages along the river. As of July 2015, Religion to Relationship Ministry, also known as Ministerio de Relaciones Cristianas, has completed the legal process needed to operate in the country of Nicaragua without the covering of another ministry. This will allow us to work more freely and efficiently with the local government officials. The Coco River area has stepped up a little in the world, as cell phone service is now available in most of the villages along the river. Though limited, this has made communication much easier and faster for our ministry. Your support has made it possible in 2015 for children in Kring Kring and nearby villages to receive better education up to 8th grade. We also set up a point system rewarding students for good grades, good attendance, etc. This allowed them to receive necessary school supplies such as tablets, pens, pencils, erasers, etc. We will not be doing school in 2016 due to major conflicts in the village. This year though, Camille has started an afternoon tutoring program helping children learn how to better read and write. We started an experiment farm in 2015 planting beans, rice, cassava or yucca, sugarcane, and plantains. Due to land conflict, we plan to this year do more closer and on our property. This has been made possible with our new fence, keeping out village pigs and goats. We hope to develop better, more efficient ways for the mosquito people to provide for themselves and their families. Funds provided for a feeding 3 times a week for 7 weeks to 100 families during the skinny season. It also provided 7,000 pounds of rice to be divided among 209 families who lost crops due to flooding. As many fled homes and fields due to Spanish mosquito land conflicts, your support provided 3,200 pounds of rice for refugee families to be better fed. The elderly sponsorship program has grown and now sponsors 11 elderly and widows in 3 different villages. This program is not designed to provide for all the needs of the elderly you sponsor, but to help with the nourishing food and better nutrition of the elderly or the widow who has no one to provide for them. We continue to support and feed some of the needy fatherless children in the village. We hope to receive licensing from the government soon as the construction of the children's home nears completion. Bible classes for children conducted 3 times a week by Karin have been very helpful in teaching children to better understand the truths of the Bible. Funds are provided for small gifts encouraging children to participate and also memorize Bible verses. In January 2016, we distributed our 3rd annual family gift boxes to 4 new villages, 160 families. Each box contains useful items such as a machete, dishes, soap, toothbrushes, and much more, all packed lovingly into a useful tub for families in need. These are very helpful to the families who receive them and opens new doors for us to share the gospel in more places. Also in January, we hosted our 2nd annual Pastors Conference providing biblical teaching for pastors all along the river from various denominations. This not only reaches out to the pastors but has opened many doors for traveling to other villages with the gospel. We have been invited to many different conferences and 4-day meetings all along the river, and now reaching even further upriver and to places in Honduras to share the truth with the Mosquito people. We've just begun a daily radio program declaring God's Word to many places we could never reach otherwise. God's Word will not be silenced. It will be proclaimed to many who have never heard the true gospel of Jesus Christ. Join us in prayer for the Mosquito people that many hearts would be changed and lives reborn because of the good news. We covet your prayers for our family and for Marcos and Karin, our ministry partners, as the harvest is plentiful but the workers are few. Pray that God would continue to draw us together even in the hard times. The strain of daily living and ministry is more than we could possibly carry alone, but God gives us the strength we need for each new day. Thank you so very much for your prayers and support as we serve where God has called us.